Laura from SparkLabs Taipei. It's my great honor to welcome all of you to the first demo day of SparkLabs Taipei. I know you guys can't wait, and we prepared a short video for you guys. Let's enjoy this.
要有相对程度的执着，对解决某些问题是充满热情。更关键的是，你究竟有多大的决心，想要把它做出来？
我希望透过我在矽谷湾区20年的经验，帮助台湾的新创能够更成功。在新创里面，绝对要晕地，要懂得依据。
You don't want to limit yourself to think like, oh, these are the types of businesses I need to serve. You want to start your business by thinking about the archetypes of the corporate customers, and whether it's SMB or large enterprise customers, and you want to have at least like a page of vision, and then you can walk back and say, okay, step one, this is what I'm going to do. Step two, this is what I'm going to do. And otherwise, you're going to build a product, whether it's consumer enterprise, that's going to be extremely limiting. So I think that's something that I would really encourage companies here to do.
更多国家，我们就很快能够有产出台湾人，所以台湾人一定是接受。
It's going to be great for the ecosystem.
对自己的信念负责，我们不能只做出一个，只是因为我们可以去把它做出来，而是要做出一个它能真的改变一些什么事情的方案，然后才会值得我们这么的投入。
必须常常把自己的事情拉高，就刚刚说，哦，我今天走这个方向是对的，我不会把整个 team 带到一个不同完全错误的方向，必须完全一直会在思考这件事情，
是多么的 powerful， 但同时是多么的 painful， 就是同时它很有效，但是又很痛苦。要去到这些市场，最需要的资源就是当地的 attention。其实这一些会是作为一个新创公司或创业者，其实在初期最困难的问题。对，那这一点其实 SparkLabs 就帮助我们非常多。
这3个月对我们来说是激动人心美好的。我想我所说的，只有在这个过程中一起体验的人知道，它是多么的沉重辛苦，然后以及我们对这条路的一个期待。
Because in the whole last year, we got so many. No, your products aren't good. No, your dream is too big. No, not enough countries. No, the team's back. No matter what, no, and you give us the right yes at the right time. And you believe in us, make us be who we are today.
很多都是大家都满怀热情，就哇，这个一定是个市场。但是其实我们代表市场，市场才代表市场。因此，事前的准备和一些做市场的 study。我觉得是非常重要的。
My vision for VSLIT, I think, is to create access word that can allow women to feel empowered and to feel confident. And I really want to be able to be the #1 kind of independent substitute brand after the mass market brands, and to be able to also represent Taiwan, and for everyone to know that Taiwan has really great functional fabrics, but we also have really great activewear.
DemoDay 其实是一个整个我们这个 program 的一个感觉上是最末端嘛，等一个成果发表。它其实也是一个庆，它更关键的是我们在这个时间点上，你怎么样再继续往前进。所以对于等一下要上台 present 的这些团队，我会觉得很鼓励你们，就是把这个地方这个舞台就是你们的，这个地方就是这些人就是来这边看你们的。那你们辛苦了这么久，对，就是要透过这个机会，好让大家知道就是你们的成果。然后让大家一起跟你一起 celebrate 这样子的这个 moment。
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our very first demo day in Taipei. I'm Rega Chu, the co-founder and managing partner of SparkLabs Taipei. No, it's our demo day. Our vision is to help startups go global. To achieve this goal, we gather a group of entrepreneurs to grow another entrepreneurs. SparkLabs Taipei is a VC fund together with an accelerator. We invest into startups with our money, with our connection, and our resources. We typically pick 5 to 8 startups per batch and have 2 classes every year. The key elements of our program are combining with the team selection, the acceleration program, and the fundraising. We collect application globally, and after 3 rounds of the interview, we're gonna send out the offer letter just within a few days after the final round interview. For our first cohort, we received around 150 applicants globally, and we picked the best 5 startups to get into our program, which is 3% of the acceptance rate. So the founders will go through the program with our weekly teaching section, with our weekly meeting, and also supported by the global mentors. Moreover, we provide legal and accounting guidance, connect them with the business opportunities, and also we train our founders how to build their company culture and to enhance their leadership to make sure their companies can stay a longer term. Fundraising is always challenging for every single startups. So we teach our companies the fundraising 101 and also connect them with our tier 1 investors around the globe. So not just within the program, the founders, they also build their connections just during the acceleration program period, which is long-lasting forever, that can turn into friendship. As a concluding milestone is the demo day, which is today. So thanks for coming to the demo day. We're gonna have 5 startups pitching today from Taipei, including Via Sweat, Fastech, Kenner, Funnel, and also Influential. We also got 2 teams from global. We got James Taylor from SparkLabs Cultivate from Australia, Gamma from SparkLabs Global from the US. So they're gonna pitch their business to the investors. Here, this is some of the investors and corporate attendees that shown up today, who are gonna be seated with you in the whole afternoon. As everyone says, it takes a village to raise a child. So does startup ecosystem. It takes a village to raise startups. So thanks a lot for the investor bring your money back to throw your money to our portfolio company. Thank for the corporate executives to bring more collaborating opportunities for our startups. More importantly, also for those startups who've been visiting today, who we are looking forward to having you in our second cohort. We cannot do this alone. So especially thanks for the people who supported us, including our LPs, including CDBC, Bravo VR Capital, and 104, and our other individual investors. Thanks a lot for trusting in us. Personally, I want to thank Tom Chu, who connected me with SparkLabs Network. Next, I would like to invite the co-founder and general partner of SparkLabs Global, Jimmy Kim.
Hello, my name is Jimmy Kim. It's great to be here, and just want to give you a brief introduction and see how we got here. So, a lot of people wonder, what is SparkLabs? SparkLabs, in general, is a global network of accelerators and VC funds. We have various stage VC funds and geographies all around the world. We're more famous to host, I guess, the largest demo day in the world. We have it twice a year. It's in Seoul right now. And this is one of our major platforms where we introduce our global companies, our listed companies to investors and corporates together. And like I said, from everybody to Tencent to Alibaba to GE to Hyundai, they constantly invest our demo day. On the basis of the demo day and the attraction that we have, we're very fortunate to open up accelerators starting from Seoul, Beijing, Shenzhen, Taipei, Orange, which is next to Sydney, Muscat in Oman, Washington, D.C., and more to come. But let's not talk about other countries. I said, how do we get here? Many people ask, why Taipei? So it started from Silicon Valley. It takes two to tango, they say. Two people from Silicon Valley, one of my co-founders, Bernard, who is here today, and Tom Chu, who was a mentor of SparkLabs, and was an active investor in Sandhill Angels. They said that, hey, Taiwan as a country is investing in other funds, a lot of funds. So, we should go and to Taipei and see if we can raise money for our funds. If you're a VC fund, all you do, trust me, is fundraise all the time. And so we really came here, for the money, because we thought that, hey, so my co-founder Bernard called me up and said, since you're closer than Palo Alto than me, he called me and Eugene up. So we made many trips to Taipei, many events, many presentations. And one of the key things they asked us was, what do you think about the Taipei or Taiwan ecosystem? And I said, do you think that once we give you the money, you'll also invest in Taipei companies? I said, of course, with conviction. And they were really asking us, really, are you really going to invest in the Taipei companies? I said, why not? Why wouldn't we invest in Taipei companies? So I said, first, Taipei, like Seoul, we found is highly educated workforce. And on top of that there's a great manufacturing infrastructure here right now. And because there's Japan, high-tech Japan, and scale China, due to market company size, that Taipei startups, like Korean startups, they have to go global right now. But I said, you know what? Taipei startups have an advantage compared to Korean startups. You guys speak Chinese. Can you imagine how hard it is for a Korean startup to go to Beijing and do business? I think so. I said, why not? Why not? So they were really saying, I don't know if you're really going to invest or not. So we had to put our money where our mouth is. So we did our first Taiwan investment, Health to Sync. This is a company that we were very proud of because it showed what we wanted to do. We showed what kind of potential that Taiwan had. This startup not only received money from Alibaba, from the W.I. Harper Fund, from Cherubic, but we also invested also. And since then, has been a global footprint. They're going to Japan, they're going to Kuala Lumpur right now. To really, a Taiwan-based startup went global. It also won #3 in the Merck internal contest right now. So we said, okay, see, this is one of the startups that we're going to invest in. They said, okay, who's going to run the program? It's definitely not going to be me, right? I don't speak Chinese or anything right now. So Tom, our guy, one day, he wrote us an email. September 6th, I saved this email. He said, hi guys, I was referred by a friend, a meetup to Edgar Chu, ex-CEO of Google, acquired by Campbell. And he interviewed him and everything right now. He said, we should meet with him. The email was to me, Eugene, and Bernard. So we met with Edgar. We invited to our demo day. And that was the start of SparkLabs Taipei. And like I said, we're very proud today. I think the companies that we'll show you today really epitomize the spirit and what we're looking for. So we're just happy. From then, we are very happy that CTBC, like I said, our LPs and we right now invested, and this is why, here we are today. This was just 3 months ago. Right now. Now people ask me, so did you ever get money from Taiwanese entities? No. It never happened. But still, one of the key things here that when Tom, another thing is that we didn't get the money, and then before this actually started, Tom Chu passed away by cancer. So it brings us, Bernard and I were talking this morning, it really is, this is the reason why Bernard is here, I'm here, Hanju's here, the three first co-founders of SparkLabs is here, because we really appreciate Tom right now. And because if it wasn't Tom, SparkLabs Taipei never happened. Now, I'm one of the final generations where Korea taught Chinese, Zhongwen, to read and write. And in Korea, we really have two words that we like to go by. It's this, uri, we call it uri, and then promise. So Tom kept on asking me numerous times, are you going to come to Taipei? He was afraid that no money, we thought we were going to come. And I told him, look, Tom, I promise you, we're coming today. I promise you, don't worry, And so I'm very, very happy today that, once again, that we're able to keep our promise, to Tom. And I think this will be a start of being together. Now, I'm Christian, so during my fundraising trips, I couldn't go home, so I had to go to church. And I saw this in the bulletin. I think that it really represents the spirit of, there are two things that we go. You hear again, it takes a village to raise a child. And the thing that I use a lot is, I found this in the bulletin of the church. It says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Now, I'm going to introduce Winston, one of our LPs and partners right now, because we're very happy that we have partners like Winston to go together. Please let's go.
First of all, I guess I represent money. But on behalf of the CTBC group, I want to thank everybody. I want to especially congratulate Edgar, Bernard, and the whole and Jimmy and the whole SparkLabs team in bringing this event to Taipei. I was talking to Jimmy at the beginning, and he was saying the first SparkLab event in Korea was nothing like this because they didn't have enough money, and that's me again. So, we would like to thank the Ministry of Science and Technology, number one. Number two, as well as the National Development Fund, the NDF, for working with us and supporting this event. And we're very proud to be able to sponsor this. As many of you know, CTBC is the largest bank in Taiwan, the 5th largest insurance company in Taiwan, again, money. But more importantly, I think we've been leaders in Taiwan as a financial institution. We've been at the forefront of innovation, and we continue to be there. So with these companies that Edgar brings in, we hope to be able to work through our blockchain lab, our work with AI and data, our data lab. We think we can not only be money, but also be a testing ground for some of the technologies that all these great companies bring up. So with that, I look forward to hearing from the companies, and I look forward to having a great day here. So congratulations, thank you.
Thank you. And now we will have the first pitch sessions. Let's welcome our introducer, Alex Wu.
Hi everyone, my name is Alex Wu. I'm a venture partner here at SparkLabs Taipei. You know, SparkLabs Taipei was started with the notion that there's a huge untapped pool of talent, ideas, and innovation in Taiwan that's ready to be seen on a global stage. And so we're so excited here to come here and support our first class. I'm personally very honored to introduce our first company, Influential. And so influencer marketing, if you're not up to speed, is kind of been a huge thing in the digital marketing space. You know, with the rise of platforms like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, influencers have the ability to authentically reach millions of people right from the palm of their hands. Now, this burgeoning channel, unfortunately, has only been accessible to brands and companies with large budgets, and only with influencers who have kind of big hundreds of thousands or millions of followers. But what if there was a larger pool of micro social influencers that also could be paired and matched with a marketplace of small and medium-sized businesses? What type of opportunities would that create for everyone? And so the team at Influential, made up of folks from places like Google and Microsoft and Cisco, are here to kind of answer that question for us. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Alan Ko, the CEO and co-founder.
Good afternoon. I'm Alan, founder and CEO of Influential. I've been working in the digital marketing field for over 12 years. I was the head of the SNS team at Google Hong Kong and Taiwan. By working with hundreds of small businesses, I learned that there are huge demands from them, which later contributed a lot to Google business. The reason why these internet giants can sustain high growth is that they serve an easy and effective way of advertising for small business. And we have got 400 million small businesses globally, which is a huge market. So I always wonder, what's next after Google AdWords? It turns out that influencer marketing is the answer. In 2017, brands spent over $1 billion on influencer marketing on Instagram alone. That number continued to soar to $10 billion in 2018. According to Forbes, influencer marketing has been proven to be the most effective form of advertising. However, small businesses are struggling to adopt influencer marketing. Why? The key issues are expensive, complicated, and time-consuming. Given the current agency model, these are the influencers you are likely to work with right now. They are top influencers with a premium price. They usually charge a minimum of $15,000 per post, which is way too expensive for a small business. And here's a surprising fact, that top influencers only account for less than 1% of the market. In contrast, micro-influencers make up 30%. These micro-influencers are brand advocates who have highly engaged audience. While they don't boast a celebrity level of social influence, they do offer opinions that are trusted by their followers. That's what led me on this mission to reimagine influencer marketing, to connect 400 million small businesses and 140 million micro-influencers. Let's see how it works. Let's say, if you are an owner of a local coffee shop at Song Yen Park, the only thing you need to do is to create a campaign. Then the platform will take care of the rest. The platform will search for the qualified influencers in this area and expand the candidate list through our lookalike technology. Then recommend those high performance influencers who will bring you customers. As a result, when your customers are browsing their Instagram feeds, they will see many of their followed influencers recommending your cafe. So the potential customers will either pay a visit to your coffee shop or save it in their must-go list. We have already proven our algorithm works in many cases. One such example is KKBox. They recruited over 100 influencers within a week, which is 20 times faster than a traditional agency. And the engagement rate was 10 times better than the top influencers they hired for the campaign. Another case is a breakfast cafe in Taipei. They reached 10,000 highly engaged customers, and it only cost them $100. Our business model is based on 25% commission on each transaction. And our average revenue per campaign is around $300. We started from Taiwan and project to earn $3 million in 2019, and start from 2020, we will expand to Japan, Korea, Indonesia, and then China. So by 2022, our project revenue is up to $100 million. Behind this extraordinary platform lies a solid team which consists of talents who are experienced in marketing and engineering. We are from Google, Cisco, and KKBox. Our business model is replicable and scalable, and it's just the beginning. Our mission is to develop technology that makes marketing easier. We are influential. My name is Alan. Thank you.
The second team, and let's welcome the introducer, Eugene.
Hi, my name is Eugene Kim. I'm a partner at SparkLabs. I've been in charge of running daily operations in Korea. We just had our last 12th demo day in Seoul in December. It was a great way to end the year, and now I'm here at the beginning of the year, and another great event to start the year. It's an honor to be here today. As Jimmy has mentioned before, we've been trying to launch in Taipei for a while. It's really great to be here, an honor to be here today. I help with Edgar with the selection and a lot of things, and he's done a tremendous job. Give a hand to Edgar. But I'm here to introduce the next team. So we also expanded out to Australia this year. They launched in March. I had a first batch of 10 teams. And this team that's gonna be coming up next is a team that was the fastest growing. They grew over 400% of revenues during the program period, and they are continuing to grow today. They're doing something amazing in China, and so here to tell the story, I want to invite James Tyler.
Hi, my name is Tyler. I'm the co-founder of James Tyler. A couple of years ago, James and I were walking along a supermarket out in Beijing. What we saw have completely shocked us. A well-known Australian milk listed for $15 per liter, with only 2 to 3 days shelf life remaining. That's no great value for many. A couple of days later, we were in Guangzhou, visiting one of the largest fresh fruit markets in China, Jiangnan Shichang. Right in the middle of imported fruit section, there was a store where people were buying fake replica boxes of premium Australian cherry and filling them with cheap Chilean cherries. So this stark contrast couldn't have been clearer. On one hand, we have a well-known Australian food brand priced well beyond the reach of most Chinese consumers. On another, we have a system of fakes. So I remember that day, I looked at James and I said to him, 如果我们能把这些问题给解决了，这将会是一个很大的机会。So we set out to solve the problems. To solve the problem, we need alternative supply chain to current Chinese supply chain. So we have spent, so on average, Australian fresh produce change hands 4 to 5 times before reaching to the Chinese consumer. That's adding huge cost along the way. Secondly, Chinese consumer doesn't trust the current food system. So much so that 99% of Chinese consumers would change their choice based on food safety. So we knew that if we could overcome these problems, we would be able to tap into a huge opportunity for foreign produce in China. In 2017, 25% of China's dairy products were imported. That comes to a total of 2.4 million tons and $3.2 billion. And this is expected to grow by 18% per year. To capture this opportunity, we spent the last 3 years developing our own end-to-end cold chain logistic process that can take product right from Australian farm directly to Chinese table. We are covering 90% of Chinese population. So we have cut the middleman from 5 to 1. Remember that $15 bottle of milk? We can do the same for $6 with 15 days of shelf life and better margins. But to really win consumers' hearts, it's not enough just to have a transparent and efficient supply chain. We also need to develop our own end-to-end sales channel. So we targeted and grew a community of Australian Chinese, otherwise known as Daigo, to recommend and promote our product back to China to their family and friends. Over the past couple of months, we have grown our network by over 60%. We now have 1,000 Daigo in our system, with a reach around 40 million Chinese consumers. Recently, we have added celebrity chefs, social media stars, to sell and endorsing our product to a fan base of 35 million end consumers. Just like this guy, live stream from Australian cherry orchard. Consumer in China watching that video only need to click a link in that video, and we can have that cherry delivered right from that farm directly to their table. Recently, we signed an agreement with a number of global FMCG companies to develop and execute their China strategy. And this has helped our sales growing by more than 400% in the last couple of months. We now have 65,000 unique customers spread right around China. In August, we started working with China's largest retail chains, Hema and Suning. To date, we have delivered over 132 tons of fresh milk into over 100 different stores in China. We have delivered the milk in less than 72 hours from being bottled in Australia. That's fresher than a lot of Australians get their milk. So, based on our current traction, we project we have a sales revenue of 3 million Australian dollars end of 2018 and 19 financial years, and growing to 50 million in 2020. Our founding team have over 35 years experience building global brands in China, all bilingual with deep understanding of Australian and Chinese cultures. So 3 years from that supermarket in Beijing, we are now the largest Australian fresh dairy exporter into China. But we're not stopping there. Recently, we're starting procuring product from other markets, such as New Zealand. We have expanded our portfolio into meat, seafood, and fruits. We now have a strong foundation to scale, and we are well on our way to realizing our vision of becoming global farm to Chinese table platform. Thank you.
This is my first demo day that I brought my wife. This is her second time to Taipei. But every time I go to a major city, she goes, "Can you buy Lululemon for me?" I'm like, "What? You want me to buy fruit? Lululemon? What is it?" And then I found out that it really defined the thing called activewear. It defined the thing called activewear, everything right now. Now, a lot of times when we invest in companies, we like companies, the most successful companies that we invested in are founders that really have conviction or passion of their story of what they want to do. On top of that, they have deep domain knowledge that backs up their conviction and passion. And third, they have something in their back pocket. They have an unfair advantage. So the following company right now has those three things. I believe that it will not only be the major brand in Taiwan, but it will be the Lululemon of Asia. Via Sweat.
Hi, I'm Melody, founder of Via Sweat. Half a year ago, I was pregnant with my second child. I felt overwhelmed and underconfident. My husband suggested I hit the gym. He knew it worked for me many times before, so the next day, as promised, I put on my sports bra and a pair of leggings, and I remember that feeling so clearly. I remember feeling powerful and capable, and most importantly, confident. That feeling is what I want to recreate for other women. Working out is about self-esteem and confidence. In fact, 81% of millennials work out or plan to work out. To reflect this need, activewear is now one of the fastest growing categories worldwide, a $350 billion market, with Asia Pacific expected to contribute 30% to that growth. Market leaders like Lululemon and Outdoor Voices are already capitalizing on this trend. However, as an Asian woman, I found two major problems. One, the current activewear selection is mostly Western-centric. The fit, design, and functionality are catered to their preferences and their needs, leaving out almost 2/3 of the world's population in a growing market. Two, really functional fabrics are being developed by the big players with the big R&D budgets like Nike and Under Armour, while smaller independent labels are using less sophisticated fabrics in terms of functionality. So we started Via Sweat. Via Sweat is activewear for Asian and Asian Americans. Not only do we fit better, but we're also able to use the newest advancements and technologies into our functional fabrics. Did you know that Taiwan accounts for over 70% of the world's output of functional fabrics, making this our home court advantage? Our partnerships with leading suppliers, the same ones who develop fabrics for Nike, Under Armour, and Lululemon, gives us first-to-know industry advantage. These suppliers have generations of technological know-how and are eager to support and work with a homegrown, new, and global brand like Via Sweat. In addition to our high-tech fabrics, Via Sweat also utilizes data-driven design. We're able to collect data and insights from various touch points to guide us into making design decisions as to which styles will work in which markets, as well as feedback we've collected from over 5,000 customers to continuously improve the cut and fit of our pieces. The result is a product perfectly tailored for us. We're mostly based on mobile and web. Customers can choose from our Essentials collections, where you can buy from our products individually, or you can sign up for our subscription-based service with a curated box sent every season. What makes us different is that we offer a personalized shopping experience. This gives customers the feeling that we're all in this journey together to become the best version of ourselves, and that we really care about you and really equip you with what you need to get there. Via Sweat is one of the few players positioned in the athleisure space on Instagram, with a reach of over 1.2 million people, double the impressions, and almost a quarter of our followers from beyond Taiwan. We've been featured in Vogue, Elle, and Marie Claire Taiwan, as well as on Netflix, and had pop-ups in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and New York City at Equinox Gym. Our brand equity gives us unpaid media and celebrity exposure. We've been worn by celebrities and influencers alike from Taiwan, Hong Kong, and the US. All of this with $0 spent on marketing. We've been bootstrapping and self-funded for the past 3 years, yet our average pieces sold per month have grown threefold since our launch in year 1. We've shipped all over the world, and our customers keep coming back. We consistently have a customer repeat purchase rate above 30% for the past 18 months. At scale, we plan to capture 2 million by the end of this year, 10 in 3 million, and 60 million in 5 years. We're husband and wife co-founders. I handle the front end, like branding, marketing, and design, with my background in marketing and business management, while he handles the back end, like finance, logistics, and inventory management, with his strength in numbers and time as a financial analyst. We also have a seasoned team of mentors and advisors with various backgrounds such as product, data, e-commerce retail management, and branding. VS Sweat is a technical apparel activewear brand, but what we're really about is empowerment. We want to create pieces that fit well, look good, and really empower Asian women to be confident. Confident women feel empowered, and empowered women change the world. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hanju Lee. I'm a co-founder and partner at SparkLabs. Okay, so once in a while, you come across a company that's so good that you actually don't want to share. Actually, I want to invest in this company before I share it with you guys, but apparently they didn't get the memo. So what is this company about? So you've heard the expression, content is king. Content is king, right? If you look at Netflix and you look at the websites, what makes the internet really great is that all those content that's there are over 6 billion websites, right? Some of them are really big, some of them are small, but it's the diversity and the just a sheer amount of content that's there. But that content space is about to just explode, right? Because the websites, the videos, the text, it's about to be augmented by all the content that's being provided by machines, IoT devices, right? All the machines that's gonna surround us. So, but the problem is this. So that makes the management of those content a lot more complex. So existing content management systems like WordPress and Joomla or the Drupals, it's just not going to work. So we need another system. So if the content's king, a management system that manages and helps you to create and manage content is what? That's a kingmaker, right? So, and this is a space that I am intimately familiar with because my first business that I started in the US in 1998 is a web hosting company, and along the way I met some great entrepreneurs, like Wix.com, which is an Israeli company. That I know this because he was my customer when he was nobody, but now he's a $4.6 billion company, right? And Magento is another one. Right? Magento is an e-commerce content management system that was sold to Adobe for $1.68 billion last year. Another one of those come from nothing and then a unicorn, right? And I believe that this next company is gonna be that unicorn, right? So if you wanna meet the next kingmaker, please pay attention. Kenner.
Hello everybody, my name is Howard, co-founder and CEO of Kenner. Kenner creates content management solutions for enterprises. CMS is the backbone for all web and mobile services. Enables content to be uploaded and presented for like creating blog, e-commerce, mobile apps. Companies store data in various databases. CMS enables them to manage and access data However, CMS is broken. Today, we still often use WordPress to build a website, but WordPress was designed 15 years ago. At that time, the internet applications and architectures were simple. Internet applications today are different and complex. Not only hundreds and thousands of custom web applications, but also mobile apps, chatbots, IoT sensors, and blockchain surging into the market. And APIs often need custom business logic. So this makes traditional CMS like WordPress useless. So people build CMS themselves. We started the idea of Canner 3 years ago. My co-founder and I attended one of the largest hackathons. What amazed us is that most of the team update their content directly through developers or build from scratch. This costs time-consuming and not scalable. It often takes 3 engineers, 2 to 4 months, and costs up to $500,000. So we decided to solve it. So we started to think, how big is the market? What we found out is interesting. The entire CMS market is worth $31.7 billion. And what's more interesting about that, though, is that nearly 70% need custom solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, today, we would like to introduce you Canner, the next generation CMS framework. Canner is built up of 3 principles: agile, flexible, and efficient. With the Canner frameworks, developers can pull existing templates and libraries to implement key features, such as graphic UIs, charts, albums, video streaming, etc. And assemble through a unique CMS schema. In the left is how much code you need to build from scratch. In the right is using Canner. Canner reduces up to 99% of code coded from scratch. We also provide adapters to connect to private, public, hybrid cloud infrastructures, and also third-party APIs. That puts us a unique position in the market. We are the only CMS that provides both API and data flexibility in the market. We open sourced an addition 6 months ago on GitHub. We got to the top 1 trending JS library on GitHub. Accumulated over 2,300 stars, over 60,000 downloads across 83 countries without marketing. Canner has been implemented over 170 companies around the world. Some projects like chatbots, web and mobile services, and community networks. As a developer, we were most proud when we received feedbacks from the community that they save up to 90% of development costs. We achieved all these amazing results with only 4 hackers, open source lovers from Taipei, not Silicon Valley. To make this replicable and scale globally, we recently launched our subscription model. Over thousands of developers registered and using it. Just expanding out this model, we were across 1 million revenue this year, 20 million revenue in 3, and 100 million revenue in 5. It is 100 million revenue sounds too big? It's only 0.3% of current CMS market. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be the WordPress killer. Thank you.
All the teams a big pause again, okay? Let's give them a big pause. Thank you. So while the stage are preparing, isn't it amazing? We have CMS solutions, we have Asian woman activewears, and we have digital marketing solutions in Taiwan. Isn't it an amazing thing? Next, we are going to have a fire chat sessions.我们今天同时也有照片的即时分享的服务，请大家可以扫你的 badge 后面的 QR code 就可以得到现场的照片的分享。Today we have the simultaneously photo sharing services. You can scan your QR code back in the page and you can get the photos today, right now. Okay, so now let's have the fireside chat sessions. Let's welcome Tony and Jimmy Lin. Welcome.
I was giving Edgar a hard time for using such a bad picture of me, and he told me that's actually what you look like. My name is Tony Lin. I'm a venture partner with SparkLabs Taipei, and I have the honor of sitting down and chatting with Jimmy Lin today. I'll give the quick introduction on Jimmy, but before I go through a list of accolades from Jimmy's very distinguished career, let me just simply summarize and say Jimmy Lin is really, really smart. He graduated Yale 2001, went on to Johns Hopkins to get his MD, PhD. He is a genomics pioneer. He actually led the team doing the computational analysis, the first ever gene sequencing of cancer, actually a number of different cancers. He was a director at the National Institute of Health in the US, and he's an entrepreneur, both on the nonprofit side, where he founded an organization called the Rare Genomics Institute, which we'll talk about. He's also an entrepreneur on the for-profit side, where he's currently the chief scientific officer of oncology at Natera, a public company in the U.S., where he is building from the ground up their oncology division, setting strategy, building the team, the whole works. Jimmy is incredibly well published. He's been printed in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Huffington Post, Nature, Science, you name it, he's probably been published in it. And he has been a distinguished speaker at venues such as, well, SparkLabs, of course, Wired, TED, corporate events at Google. He's spoken at the White House. So again, Jimmy Lin, very smart, and we are honored to have him here today. Thank you for coming. Thank you. So, Jimmy, this is a conference obviously about entrepreneurship. And one of the things that we talk all the time with our entrepreneurs about, Jimmy touched on this earlier, our Jimmy, is the importance of inspiration and passion, right? You might come up with an idea, maybe you can make a few bucks, but it's really that inspiration and passion that gets an entrepreneur through the tough times, and every startup has tough times. You sort of have a unique perspective where you've been an entrepreneur on the nonprofit and for-profit side. So maybe we can start on the nonprofit side because that's probably a little less common in events like this. You founded an organization called the Rare Genomics Institute. Could you maybe just describe a little bit of what the organization does, what its mission is, and then specifically on this point around inspiration, kind of tell us a story of what drove you to found this organization.
Happy to. So I think a lot of us in life is sort of looking for big problems to solve. And sometimes I think, as we heard many of the pitches before, They run into the problems maybe in a supermarket, or sometimes they're trying to look for their own product, they can find it, and then they're the ones now to solve that problem. And I think that's very much sort of the journey of the ventures that I've been on. For rare genomics, so my background, as I said, is I worked in in cancer diagnostics to detect cancer, and we were able to do the world's first cancer genome sequencing. But then I was in a hospital seeing patients, pediatrics, and there was a little kid that had a rare disease, and nobody could help him. And this is one of the top universities in the world, top hospital, nobody could help them. And that's when you know what? There are so many of these children with rare diseases, even though they're individually very, very rare, but if you add it up, there's millions of people that are affected by rare diseases. How can we solve this? So the way we thought about it is you think about how Amazon has able to solve the problem of rare products, right? It's through a democratized platform, you can do bottom solutions to be able to do that. Crowdfunding and crowdsourcing has allowed a lot of peer-to-peer types of ways to be able to solve problems that way. So we took the lessons that we learned on the commercial side and tried to apply them on the rare disease. So that's what we did. So a patient comes with a rare disease, we raise funds through their friends and family, through that platform, and then we connect the top researchers to do research projects for these families. So imagine now, you raise, $5, $10 from friends, but then you're funding research projects at top universities like Harvard and Yale, and researching these diseases that has never been researched before.
As a father of 3 young daughters, beautiful and very poorly behaved daughters, one of the scariest ideas is having a child or one of your kids get sick and not knowing what the cause is, what the disease is. And one of the things that struck me when I watched your TED Talks was how you looked at this current industry, right? The way things currently are. Biotech and pharma, it's built on a tops-down approach, where they are incentivized, largely from a financial perspective, to go after the most common diseases, right? The ones where they can make the most money. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there is this thick layer of thousands and thousands of diseases that on a global basis might have a few hundred people that get it, maybe a few dozen, maybe one. And somehow you were able to sort of invert this tops-down structure. You touched a little bit on crowdsourcing, but could you talk a little bit about how you actually kind of inverted that and made it more of a sort of bottoms-up approach? You talked a little bit about crowdsourcing, you mentioned funding research, but how did you actually kind of use crowdsourcing, at least in the beginning, and how did you build this network of experts around the globe who are willing to help out, and how are they incentivized?
So the key is, I think you learn from on the commercial side is democratization. So you solve these problems not by, this rare disease, by trying to solve this rare disease, but building a platform that enables the solving of all rare diseases, right? So we build a platform, number one, to raise funds. We build a platform to connect to researchers, right? We build a platform to be able to upload your data and curate your data, and also a platform then to connect to businesses, right? So if you have a generalized platform then you're disease agnostic. You don't care about whether you're looking at a rare disease or common disease. So when a patient comes, then you can sort of leverage all the existing platforms that are there, then be able to then raise funds from small amounts, connect to top researchers in different fields, be able to find biotech support, sponsors from different fields, all in a very sort of seamless way once you have that foundation built.
And just to be clear, the funds that were initially raised through crowdsourcing, which are now, I understand, donated for the most part, those actually didn't go to compensate these researchers. It was more just the basic sort of operating costs of performing it. Is that right?
Yeah, so average we raised about 10,000 US dollars per project, but we have companies that donate sequencing reagents from biotechs, hundreds of thousands of dollars. You have companies like Google and IBM donating infrastructure. So from that $10,000, we're doing these $1 million projects for these rare diseases.
Great. So as I mentioned before, you have experience on both the nonprofit and for-profit side. Could you describe a little bit what you're doing within Natera in terms of building up the oncology group? And then I think what would be interesting is maybe compare and contrast your experience as a nonprofit entrepreneur and a profit entrepreneur, for-profit entrepreneur, similarities, but sort of unique challenges of each.
Yeah, happy to. So Natera, I don't know, most people probably haven't heard of it. We're listed, well, we went public 3 years ago on the NASDAQ. Our revenue about $200 million last year. US. And our major market is in prenatal testing. So women who are pregnant want to figure out the health of their baby, they do a blood test. Instead of doing invasive like amniocentesis, when you take cells. We take the same technology, instead of looking for baby DNA in mom, we can look for cancer DNA in normal patients, or normal people, right? So today, what are ways to screen for cancer? And if you're a woman, you screen for breast cancer with mammography, right? Which is taking a picture of your breast. But by the time you want to have a cancer, you can see it, sometimes it's too late. You also screen for colon cancer, which takes a big tube, unfortunately, through the wrong end, right? And look up and to be able to figure out and be able to see that. But that's sort of two of the cancers. Most cancers are screened too late. And the goal then is there a way we can do a pan-cancer screen so we can catch these cancers much earlier? And for most cancers, if you catch it earlier, actually there's a cure already for cancer. So that's what we've been working on, to look at these sort of small amounts of cancer DNA in individuals. So we just launched our product last year on oncology. It's called Signatera. It's now used by most of the major pharma companies now, and we're launching it clinically next year. As Signatera, we already distribute in over 80 countries on the women's health side, and now we're going to start leveraging that into the oncology space there.
And maybe compare and contrast kind of for-profit versus non-profit similarities and challenges?
I think at the end of the day, you're trying to solve big problems, right? I think, or solve small problems. And whether you do it in a nonprofit environment or a for-profit environment, it's the same challenges of, of the technical abilities of actually sort of solving the problem, getting the right team together to be able to do that, and funding, right? So versus sort of VC-backed money or public market money, right? Getting funding from corporate sponsors and donations is another way of sort of fundraising. So it looks a little bit different, but I think more and more these days, the nonprofit model actually is learning and mirroring the business models from the for-profit. So there's areas like venture philanthropy, where people who are starting to see even nonprofits actually generate a lot of revenue.
So actually on that point of revenue, I mean, we talk with our startups that we fund all the time about KPIs, metrics, milestones, users, daily active users, et cetera, unique users, clicks. But end of the day, there's a metric that we all measure ourselves by, which is dollars, right? But how in a nonprofit organization do you kind of set the right metrics, KPIs, milestones that sort of focus the organization and then define success in a way that everyone feels aligned and good about?
So a big movement in the Valley, at least, right, is companies are ultimately is about mission and culture, right? Even if their goal is to sell ads, right, or to generate clicks, people don't care less about the ads, right? They care about solving the problem and the dent in the universe that they're creating, right? So in that sense, even in a for-profit venture, right, people think about beyond the sort of the standard metrics of even revenue numbers. Even within our company, Anatera, we talk about lives saved or families affected, right? And that is one area where actually a lot of learnings go the other way, where the for-profit companies can learn a lot from nonprofits, because nonprofits have less these sort of numbers of the revenue numbers, but they're all about mission, right? They're all about how many people they're helping, how many trees they planted, how many whales are they saving, how many forests, right? So that mission aspect is already really well developed in the nonprofit space that I think the for-profit space is starting to learn, right? So there's a lot of, but then I think the nonprofits learn about market efficiencies and business operations from for-profit. So there's a lot of cross-pollination that's happening that's actually pretty exciting to see.
That's great. So Rare Genomics Institute kind of trying to build a bottoms-up approach to diagnosing and hopefully coming up with cures or at least management for rare diseases. Let's shift gears a little bit to talk about cancer, another area of expertise for you and unfortunately not a rare disease. I looked at the stats last night. 38.4% of us in this room in our lifetime will at some point get diagnosed with cancer, call it 40%. Almost 100% of us will be impacted by cancer, either directly or indirectly. And cancer is a war that scientists and doctors have been fighting for decades. And yet, from a layman's perspective, based on my own personal experience with friends going through this battle right now, based on research and articles that I read, it feels like to me, and I guess this is my question to you if my feeling is correct, but it feels like to me we're potentially at a unique point in history where this war on cancer may either be winnable or at least kind of manageable in our lifetimes. But I'm curious, as a man who's sort of on the forefront of that research, number one, does that feel right to you? And then number two, kind of what makes now different than, I mean, we've heard about promising potential, treatments for forever. What makes now different than the last 30, 40 years?
Yeah, first that 40% number, let me just poll the audience. If you raise your hand if you know someone with cancer or has been affected by a family member of cancer, right? So look around the room, right? It's basically everybody. And this thing is 40%. So, look to the right, look to your left. The odds are one of you will be affected by it. It may not, ultimately be what sort of, be terminal for you. So it's a huge problem. But there's good news, right? And that's what I want to say is we are now in the golden age of cancer discovery, right? For the first time, we are developing a whole new set of sort of types of therapy before. So maybe 50 years ago, how do we beat cancer, right? How do we treat cancer? There's two ways. You do surgery, you cut it out, and then they developed this method called chemotherapy, which is basically poison, and you hope to poison the cancer more, you poison the normal part, right? A lot of actually, the early cancer diagnostic was used in warfare, mustard gas. About 10 years ago, there was excitement in cancer that's developed called personalized therapy, right? So because through some of the work that we've done and others, is like we know what are the mutations that cause cancer, right? Can we then create drugs to attack those mutations and personalize that medicine, right? To give the right drug to the right patient at the right time. And that has been the promise in the last sort of 10 years, thinking about genome sequencing and figuring out the right drug. But what has happened is cancer is very smart. So you give these drugs and the resistance that happen. In the last 5 years, whole new areas have sort of exploded. I think this is actually the Nobel Prize is awarded this year. Is the area of immunotherapy, right? Instead of doing surgery or giving a poison or trying to figure out new ways to do it, we use the immune system that we already have, right? Which is very, very smart, right? And to teach the immune system how to fight cancer. So whether it's the top drugs these days, billions of dollars now are being used, that what it does is it's called this area called checkpoint inhibitor. Cancer has a stop, has a brake. If you drive a car, right, there's a brake. So what it's able to do is actually the drug takes the brake off. So it turns on the immune system, and that has worked miracles, and that's what's won the Nobel Prize this year, is figuring out that the brake on the immune system. And there's new ways too. People are able to take cells from your body and then teach it. If you're at the airport, right, you have dogs that smell for explosives. What we're able to do now is be able to take the cells out, teach it what cancer looks like for that patient, and then put it back into that patient's body to then attack the cancer. And that whole area too, called CAR T-cell therapy, is really, really exciting. So there's so many new ways of using our immune system that it's really making a huge change of how we're even thinking about fighting cancer. And that's why a lot of us in the area have not seen such a dramatic change, and we really think this is the golden age of cancer. And we really think that, at least this is my opinion, that cancer will become a chronic disease like HIV within our generation.
And specifically, you mean not a death sentence in certain circumstances, but a manageable
disease, right? Yeah.
And where does your research in genomics kind of fit within immunotherapy, and why is that more accessible than it was before, I guess, to folks?
Yeah, well, there's a couple things. Immunotherapy is exciting because when you want to teach the cancer to smell, teach the immune system to smell the cancer, you need genomics, and that's what we do. Also creating specific vaccines for that, to do that. And then what our company does is, when you give somebody a drug of cancer, you actually don't know if it's working or not. You take a picture, so MRI or CT every 6 months, and maybe it shrinks or not. What we're able to do is measure in the blood to see in real time, is the cancer growing? Is it expanding? So we're starting to do that in the blood. So now with immunotherapy, one of the big problems is when immune cells try to sort of fight the cancer, when you take a picture of it, so CT/MRI, it looks worse because of immune cells. So imaging is sometimes has a problem. So then using ways to measure in the blood is now sort of an area of great excitement. And that's why we worked with a lot of pharma companies to be able to use our technology to start measuring in real time treatments in cancer in patients.
On the topic of genomics, there are new technologies like CRISPR that effectively enable scientists to customize whatever genes they want, right? It opens up a whole new world of possibilities in terms of disease prevention or treatment. But it also opens a potential ethical hazard. There was an article a few months ago about a Chinese scientist or doctor who had genetically modified embryos and basically given these babies, I think it was 3 babies, HIV resistance, which, sounds like a pretty good thing. But kind of how do you think about, why was that such a big issue? And how do you think about managing, we talk about the risks of AI and robots taking over the world. This is equally potentially as exciting, but also risky for us as a civilization. Yeah, so how do you think about what needs to happen there?
Yeah, as with new technology that's happening, even, right, I mean, there's a lot of news of how, right, Russians hack Facebook or, right, hacking Google to be able to do it. All the technologies that many of us develop will be used for good and potentially for less good uses. And with CRISPR and genome engineering, we are for the first time, not only do we, about 10, 15 years ago, we read the DNA of our body for the first time, right? So we were able to read. And this is the first time we're able to write in a very quick manner to be able to do that. Then the question is, what are we going to write? What are we going to edit? And that's sort of the major question. And how are we going to do it in a way that's responsible and also good for patients? And that's sort of a very long, ongoing dialogue. And I mean, the controversy with China is, this person tried to work outside the system in areas that were potentially not medically indicated. So that's why it's a little controversy. But I mean, there's a lot of excitement too to be able to use it for good. And I think again, the exponential technologies that are happening. Imagine, right? This is I guess if we think about China and paper or Gutenberg press, the press, we're only writing DNA for the first time, right? And that imagine that you're writing for the first time. This is just the beginning of how we're going to change our genomes. And we are, starting to see this excitement now.
And I think you talked, when we had lunch yesterday, a little bit about how it sort of falls into 2 buckets, right? There's sort of preventive or disease kind of benefits of modifying genes, but then there's like transhuman type?
Yeah, the question is, what do you use it for? And there's people who want to use it to fix diseases, which we all sort of believe in. But then there's, people who want to use it to make people better in ways that then, talk about, potential eugenics and transhuman. If you want to choose, your hair color, you want your child to be, smarter, taller, when you're doing those things, then we have to be very, very careful when we're changing that. And that's where all the bioethical discussions are.
Yeah, it's fascinating, actually. I remember reading an Economist article a couple years ago about how in China, the boy to girl birth ratio has been shifted from a natural sort of 1.06 male to female, 1.06 being the magic number where boys actually typically tend to die more before they reach puberty, so it ends up being 1-to-1 perfectly by the time they get to puberty. In China, it's 1.25 to 1, which means if you extrapolate the numbers, China ends up having a population of men that can't get married or find spouses equal to the size of almost the entire male population in the US of marriageable age. And you think about adding in the option now to genetically modify your kid to be taller or better looking or have a great singing voice or smarter and great potential, but incredibly scary. So how does that actually happen though? I mean, we all understand it needs to happen in the same way that there needs to be sort of universal rules around AI management, particularly general AI, right? Self-learning machines. who puts that in place? I mean, there's no governing body. How does this actually happen before rogue scientists, HIV prevention one time, taller the next time, you know, better looking the next time, whatever it is?
I think it's going to be a combination of governments and then sort of scientist community and ethicists and religious leaders getting together to sort of talk about this. It's not going to be a simple answer, but it's going to be very, very important. I think what's really, really amazing about biology is for the first time, biology is becoming no longer a cells and molecule problem because we can change DNA into bits. Biology is technology, biology is IT, biology is big data, biology is now AI. So all the things that we've developed on the AI now is going to be moved over, and that's why we're going to see this crazy exponential shift in development, and now we're able to write genomes. So this is going to be a time of very, very fast change, and it's going to be a time of sort of great caution of how do we, you know, use the fire and not sort of burn ourselves or light the building on fire.
So I think we're coming up on 25 minutes and we'd allocated 30 minutes. So maybe the last few minutes, Jimmy, it's always helpful, I think, to entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, to hear the story of successful entrepreneurs and how they sort of made the decisions around their career and specifically when to make that leap off, right, in a different direction. I know your parents were physicians, you went to go and get your MD at Johns Hopkins, but how did you think about sort of going student body right, starting a nonprofit, kind of going into for-profit, building an organization? Like, you could have been a doctor. You know, what's your own personal kind of story around that?
I like the intro video where Edgar talks about, is Edgar here? Talk about the sort of the dedicated passion, right? And the journey of all hard things. It's going to be that thing that sustains you through the lowest of lows, right? Whether it's entrepreneurship, whether you're, you know, working a 9-to-5 in a corporate job, whether you're, you know, studying or doing research, you need something to sustain you through the worst of times, right? When things are going well, it's very easy, right? But what is it going to drive you so that when everything has failed, all your investors say no, right? Experiments all go wrong, right? And you come home, right? And you know, and you're just sort of sitting there in the dark and like, what do I do? But what still drives you to do that? And different people have sort of different things that sort of that really sort of drive them to that. For me, is sort of solving the big problem of cancer, and then the story of the rare diseases, and that continues. So you know, through those dark times where everybody says no, we continue to go through. So I think that's ultimately going to be critical. I think it's not the passion for the things that are successful, it's what's gonna maintain your perseverance through the darkest times. And I think that is gonna be the critical factor of, you know, whether you're gonna, what enables you to ultimately, not necessarily even be successful, right? It's just giving you that energy for perseverance so that it makes you a potential for success.
I love the story Jimmy told me yesterday. One of the patients in the Rare Genomics Institute, and the parent, he was a very sick child. The parents had no idea what was going on. The doctors ran all the tests, nothing came back. And he was, you know, you sort of put him through your network, and they identified a genetic mutation, right, that had an N globally of 1. He was the 1. And yet there was a researcher you found that had been studying, tell me if I get this wrong, a similar genetic mutation in yeast. And so for him, it was this amazing opportunity to study sort of this manifestation of this genetic mutation in human beings. Would have never happened but for something you created. So I just want to thank you again for being a guest on SparkLabs. Thank you for doing such wonderful work that's saving lives and helping people. And we hope that you'll be a friend and part of the SparkLabs network going forward.
Yeah, I'm honored. I think I spoke at, I think that when they showed the picture DemoDay 7 in Korea, I'm like, man, one day in Taiwan. And I'm so excited that, you know, now DemoDay, SparkLabs is now in Taipei, and I get to participate, so it's a great honor.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks again, Jimmy and Connie. Now we will have 5 minutes coffee breaks, so please enjoy the food and beverage back there. 我们接下来有5分钟的休息时间，然后请大家继续享用我们的食物跟饮料。那我们下一个 session 会在3点半准时开始。
Good afternoon, everyone. Please come back to your seats. We got a pretty tight schedule today. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. The people in the back. Hello, everyone. Please come back to your seats. Come on, before it's been taken. Come on, come back. Hello. The booth, the startup from the booth. Please, shut up and get your customers, clients to back to the seats, please. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, when I say good afternoon, please respond me. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. The people in the back. The people in the back. The people in the back, please come back to your seats. Hello. 在后面的贵宾还有朋友，麻烦你们回到前面的座位好吗？我们下半场的活动很快就要开始。好，我们30秒后开始，请后面的朋友尽速回到你的座位，谢谢。Hi everybody. I think the food's too good out there. I think everybody's staying back there to have the Dai Cha. I'm Will. I'm from Hong Kong. I run SparkLabs Fintech, where we have a partnership with the Ping An Insurance Group in China, covering fintech, health tech, and a bunch of other businesses as well. Honored to be here today to witness the first Taipei DemoDay. The next company is involved in the travel space. So travel space has been hot for a while. I think particularly in Southeast Asia, where with growing wealth among the middle income population, people have traveled a lot more and want to experience local cultures. So Fun Now is a way to enable the users to experience local culture in a much easier way than in the past. And so easy, in fact, one of our founders, Jimmy Kim, last night was at dinner and he was able to schedule a massage on Fun Now over dinner and went there right after dinner with his wife. So apparently it was very good, right, Jimmy? So anyway, without further ado, here's Fun Now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Demo Day. My name is TK, co-founder and the CEO of the Fun Now. Fun Now is the first on-demand app for leisure and entertainment activities. First of all, I would like to welcome a lot of international travelers to be in Taipei, such a beautiful and amazing city. Some of you may be wondering where you can go for dinner tonight. And maybe some of you want to grab a drink with your friends. And highly recommend you to try the foot massage in Taipei because it is the best in the world. Lucky you, right now you have Fun Now. Although we are targeting the local people to enrich people's life. However, welcome to experience a city like a local. The entertainment and leisure market is super huge. We only counting 7 countries in East Asia. Its total market is $350 billion US, and it is still growing rapidly. Why? because all of us want to live better, and the travelers want to experience the city, not only sightseeing or shopping. However, there are two major big problems. The first one, 80% of the local merchants didn't connect to the internet. They don't have their own reservation and booking systems online. Second, there is no big players or one big platform aggregate all kinds of data together. So looking for fun is not that easy right now. Thanks for FunNow. We connect thousands of merchants to the internet without any cost. And given our outstanding algorithm, we can calculate availability and price in real time. So now, you can have Uber experience for entertainment, looking for fun anytime, anywhere. For the merchant side, after we sign the contract and receive the menu, only 30 minutes, the owner can manage the reservation, the price, the availability, go through the web or app. Super easy. So far, even the global international brands are with us. We are also the exclusive partner of Michelin in Taipei. So booking for the Michelin restaurant right now is easy. We also have a lot of local good cuisine, so welcome to experience it. In terms of a consumer side, we are totally disrupt the traditional way of searching fun. You don't need to searching on Google, reviewing the blogger. You also don't need to make a phone call to make a reservation or queuing in line, wait. Right now, discover, book, and pay in 30 seconds. You only need to bring this 6-digit number to the merchant and enjoy your moment. We also have a map mode for you to discover the area easily. Discover the area nearby or where you are going. We only show the merchant on the map, only with the seats right now. Given a great product, we also show a great track record. Over the past 8 quarters, our GMV grew 7 times. We achieved $3 million last quarter. I'm also quite proud. We deliver 40% of 30 days repurchase rate, all because a great user experience. We cut 15% of commission in each transaction. And currently, we receive $7 million from some of the top-tier investment firms. Given the great track records in Taiwan, we start to go global. Last year, we went to Hong Kong and Okinawa. This year, we are targeting Tokyo, Kuala Lumpur, and Bangkok. Given the great momentum in our home market and also the global expansion, we project we can achieve 200 million GMV in next year. Go back to the story of the beginning. 4 of us live in Holland and also study there and also work there. We came back to Taiwan because of one dream. We believe in Taiwan, we can build up an international internet platform. We see one opportunity, the entertainment of the leisure market. We also have one vision. Fun should be spontaneous, easy, and diverse. Join us, creating more fun for people. Today, please download FunNow and enjoy the 50% off. Remember, we are fun now. Fun should be enjoyed right now, not fun next week or fun next month. Enjoy a full massage tonight. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bernard Moon. I'm a co-founder of SparkLabs. I'm about to introduce Gamma, which is one of our SparkLabs Global Ventures portfolio companies. SparkLabs Global is our global seed stage fund. So Gamma sits on the intersection of online gaming and distributed computing. And it's definitely two exciting intersections. And it is run by a team of hustlers that we love. So please welcome Gamma.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Good afternoon, Taipei. I'm Gabriel Schillinger, the co-founder and CEO of Gamma. About this time last year, we just presented at SparkLabs Global Demo Day in Seoul, and we announced to the world Gamma Now, our flagship product. Gamma Now lets gamers lend their idle compute and in return get awesome rewards, like in-game credit, exclusive content, and access to special events. We launched Gamma Now in February 2018, and we had global press coverage, from Forbes to VentureBeat. We actually went viral. In less than 24 hours, we had 25,000 signups, which caused our servers to crash, and we had to put a month-long waiting list up. Because of this exposure, we got on the radar of some of the top game companies in the world, one being Razer. Razer is the leading game hardware lifestyle brand. Razer reached out to us, and they wanted to white label Gamma Now into an application called SoftMiner, so their users could lend their compute and get Razer points in return. Min, the co-founder and CEO of Razer, announced to his global community of over 50 million people to SoftMiner to the world. Since that launch, which was actually just last month, we've had 250,000 signups and over 10,000 daily active users. By the end of this year, we project to have 1 million signups and over 100,000 daily active users, making Gamma one of the largest supercomputers in the world. But we don't want to stop there. With Razer, what we believe is next is what's in all of your pockets and all of our hands: mobile phones. So what happens once we get all the compute from idle PCs and mobile devices? Well, we believe one of the next industries that is going to require even more and more compute as AR and VR grow is the rendering industry. And we're coming up with a product called Go Render, which is launching at the end of next month. It's a $168 billion industry, the CGI and VFX industry. And to show the need of the compute for that world, film from James Cameron, Avatar, needed over 1,000 years of compute to actually complete for the rendering. Our users aren't going to need that much compute on one project, but for their at-home projects, we can give them 40 to 80 times the speed of their current renders, taking the render time down from 8 hours to less than an hour, to give them faster, reliable, and easy-to-use compute options. But our vision goes far beyond that. We believe the future lies in artificial intelligence and machine learning. As those industries grow, they'll need more compute to process all of the requests. There'll be a $3.1 trillion industry by 2025, and we want our compute to power a lot of those use cases. Our team is made up of hackers, hustlers, and serial entrepreneurs from some of the best brands and companies worldwide. Brands like Supreme, companies like American Express, Goldman Sachs, Google, and Ralph Lauren. Our investors are equally as well some of the top game founders, tech founders, and VC funds. We've got Akatsuki and Gree in Japan, Greycroft Tracker Fund in the States, of course, SparkLabs Global Ventures, and our newest strategic partner and strategic investor, Razer's very own Z Ventures. We believe
by bringing together the CGI, AI, and machine learning use cases that by 2022 will have north of $100 million in revenue. At Gamma, we started with games, but our vision is set on becoming the world's largest supercomputer. Thank you.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Hello, Tony Ling again. I have the privilege today of introducing Foxtech. Foxtech is an IoT solutions provider in a number of industries, including agriculture, logistics, cold chain, and manufacturing. Foxtech basically drives operational improvement at its customer by providing a low-cost, low-power solution that tracks temperature, location, and humidity. The company is experiencing tremendous and really exciting growth. Currently, their customers deploy them in over 23 countries and growing. And equally exciting is what the company is doing is really taking the Taiwanese traditional strength in IoT hardware and layering on data collection and data analysis on top that's driving a lot of value within its customers. So very strong management team, over 10 plus years of experience on average in telecom, IC design, hardware, marketing. And so without further ado, I present Foxtech. Yadia Kalingris, CEO and co-founder.
Hello everybody, I am Yadia. I am the COO and co-founder at Foxtech. At Foxtech, we make IoT solutions for temperature monitoring. Global warming is happening. It is causing the Earth to get 1 degree warmer every year. Because of this, temperature monitoring is important. You're probably asking yourself right now, what can 1 degree really do? Is it really important? In the dairy industry, 1 degree causes dairy production loss every day. It even affects the quality of milk you will drink. 1 degree causes our forests to become dry, making them a lot more prone to wildfires. We saw this happening at least once a month last year. In agriculture industry, 1 degree causes crop yield reduction because it's harder to grow them, making it a lot more expensive for consumers. At least $300 billion are lost every year by these industries because of global warming. The problem is, there is no environmental solution suitable for mass outdoor monitoring. We're talking about harsh environments. The solution has to be easy to implement to monitor high, low temperature and humidity. It also has to have low power consumption and an efficient data structure. My co-founder, Sonic, and I committed ourselves to building a team, a company, Foxtech, to help solve this problem. We have developed an end-to-end hardware and software solution that is easy to use. It's so easy, my parents can use it. We have no buttons. All you have to do is plug in the device to a sensor, and it will send encrypted data every 10 minutes. This data is then decoded, analyzed, and can be viewed on our web applications and our cloud platform. We imagine 1 million devices worldwide sending data. And on this basis, we built our data architecture. Our data compression is so efficient, we're able to compress large data sets into less than 12 bytes. To give you an idea, this SMS is 140 bytes. We're able to compress our temperature, humidity, and battery 12 times. So remember the 1 million devices? We're able to store its 1-year data in a 613 gigabyte hard drive. We're able to make it global thanks to our amazing partners and customers, such as Sigfox Worldwide and Kyocera in Japan. Other IoT companies take 12 months for only 5 pilots. We have done 22 pilots worldwide across 7 different industries. We put the first IoT sensor in Taiwan's soy sauce industry. We help them monitor $6 million worth of soy sauce annually. We have also already deployed in Taiwan's dairy farms. Every day, we monitor over $500,000 worth of dairy. And today, I'm very proud to share with all of you, we are monitoring all 101 hectares of the world's largest glass greenhouse in Singapore, Gardens by the Bay, worth $18 billion. We have already amassed 1.6 million datasets as of today. We're using this data to build more features, such as tailored analytics for our customers. But this is just the beginning. Through our data analytics, we help our customers know what they need to know so they stop losing money because of global warming. Our business model is hardware and data analytics. On this basis, we have a revenue forecast of $3 million for 2019, $13 million by 2021, and $45 million by 2023. We have the team to achieve this. Our team has a background in telecom, IC design, hardware, and academia, with an average of 10 years of experience. We're going to change the world by making easy-to-use, accurate, data-efficient temperature monitoring solutions. We started with IoT as the Internet of Things, but through our solutions, we bring you something so much better, the intelligence of things. Thank you.
接下来，让我们欢迎科技部部长陈良基先生。Let's welcome the Ministry of Science and Technology, Liang Ji-chen.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. It is my great pleasure and honor to attend this SparkLabs demonstration days. It's so exciting to me actually, and especially when I listen to all the pitches with so excellent product and services. If I am younger, maybe I hope I can be one of the entrepreneurs staying on the stage. On behalf of Ministry of Science and Technology, we are very welcome all of the guests that come to Taipei, especially to attend the Entrepreneur Day, and also show my appreciation to SparkLabs, all the partners of SparkLabs. Thank you to bring so excellent teams to come together. Ministry of Science and Technology, we established last year the so-called TTA, Taiwan Tech Arena in Taipei City. One of the missions is try to attract more entrepreneur and also the venture capital join together to inspire and to support all the entrepreneurs with their idea to change the world. Today we actually already see the first step, so it's very exciting. And most and also the TTA will try our best to continue to support all the demand and all the environment established, especially when there is any team who would like to networking with the high-tech company, with any other partners. Most will try our best to help all the partners. And one of the reason that most can commit, because most are also in charge of handling the science industrial park in Taiwan. They include all the famous international companies, including the famous TSMC is located in our industrial science park. So we can try to leverage all the supporting resources in Taiwan to support all the entrepreneurs. So welcome to Taipei again, and I hope you can give networking your partner and also your supporting channels during the demo day and especially during the administration come to SparkLabs. Thank you again. Thank you.
is a real closing. Thanks everyone for attending SparkLabs Taipei, our very first demo day in Taipei. We strongly believe it's not just like Taipei startup ecosystem, it's actually a global phenomenon to help startups grow globally quickly. So thank you again for coming. Later on, definitely that this is not just demo day 1. We're gonna have like demo day 2, demo day 3, coming like within this year. So for startups, if you want to join SparkLabs like network, we're gonna announce our application form later today. For investors, if there's any interesting startups you try to invest, please like, take action as early as possible because they are all popular. And for the corporate executive, if you are looking for any kind of solutions or you want more new ideas to empower your like new innovation, have a chat with our startups later during the networking section. So we also thank for the Cooking Taiwan providing the bubble milk tea and also some of the guabao, so you can taste the taste of Taiwan. So last but not least, thank for your whole afternoon time, and we have a great weather today, a great team pitch today, and especially that have a great audience today for coming to our demo day. So thanks again for your time and effort, and also your supporting to the whole SparkLabs ecosystem. Thanks a lot. So I want to take this time to welcome the founders to come on stage, and also our investors and also our corporate executive to have a big group photo to memorize this precious moment. Thanks again. Founders.
Founders and demo teams, please come to the stage. We have a photo call.好，如果所有的贵宾们都上台之后，我们先看一下我们请摄影师先看一下目前的角度 O 不 OK？ 好，我们再看一下中间的镜头好了。中间镜头，我们先看中间的镜头 ，the middle camera。好，我们看，各位，我们再换一个姿势好不好？再拍一次。好，请所有 demo 团队的亲友们都可以一起上台，团队的成员们可以一起上台。麻烦前面的稍微再蹲低一点哦，就是第一排的话，对，后面的尽量插空隙，谢谢。好，先看中间的镜头。 来，稍等一下，稍等一下，还有。